Shalom. The title of this video is what is soy and where does it come from? All right, so I'm going to start off by reading a scripture. I'm in the book of Numbers, the 13th chapter, the 32nd verse. And they brought up an evil report of the land which they had searched unto the children of Israel, saying, the land through which we have gone to search it, it is a land that eateth up the inhabitants thereof, and all the people that we saw in it are men of great stature. So it's telling you that the land, it is a land that eateth up the inhabitants. It is a land of cannibals. Wow, so we know that cannibalism existed in the Bible. But in the book of Deuteronomy, it said that we would be cannibals and we would eat our children when we would be getting starved out in the siege. You can read that in the book of Deuteronomy 28. Okay. Now I'm going to show you a clip from a movie called Soylent Green. It's with Charlton Heston. You can probably find it online. You can probably rent it for like $3 somewhere. I found it on this free site called 123 Movies. I'm not really recommending that you do that, but this is how I get my movies. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a clip. Pay close attention to what Charlton Heston said. This is at the end of the movie.
There's another one over there.
Pay close attention to Charlton Heston.
Hey, punk. Are you with us?
Sure. Did I get him?
Yeah, you got him.
He's going to expose what Soylent Green is here.
Listen too good, but you're a damn good cop.
That's right. Get to the exchange. You gotta tell them they're right.
But let's take care of you first.
You don't understand. I've got proof. They need proof. I've seen it. I've seen it happening. They've got to tell people.
Tell them what?
The ocean's dying. Plankton's dying. It's people. Soylent Green is made out of people.
All right, so you see right there, Charlton Heston exposes this. Now again, I'm not telling you to believe this or not. You can believe it if you want to. And I say if you watch any of my videos before, you'll hear in my videos that they always expose some truth in movies. You just have to pay close attention. Like, I'm not saying every single movie, but in certain movies you'll see, just like you see here with Charlton Heston, he's exposing what Soylent Green is. It's a coincidence that it's called the same thing as soy. It starts with the same prefix as soy, Soylent Green. Okay, so you have to wonder why are so many people allergic to soy? If it's supposed to be some type of natural crop and they claim that it's organic soy and things like that, then people really shouldn't be allergic to it, right? Right? They put food warnings on it. They have to label it. If it's a required law that they have to label anything that's made in a facility that produces soy or soy is actually in it. And if you look at the labels, especially like you go to somewhere like Whole Foods, you wouldn't think that it would be there, but it's in like everything at Whole Foods. Right? And I'm going to tell you my own personal story about soy and everything in just a second. But just go to Whole Foods and look at the label. Matter of fact, you don't even really have to go to Whole Foods. You can probably look it up online. You can look up the labels online, right? You'll see on there even things like some chicken or something, some organic chicken that you bake in the oven. It'll have soybean oil in it, or you'll see some other processed food, ice cream. It'll say soy lecithin, some variation of soy. You'll see it in everything. So you wonder, why is it in everything? Why can't they put I don't know, sunflower seed oil. Sunflowers aren't hard. You could produce sunflowers pretty much anywhere. Why can't you use sunflower seeds oil? Well, because it costs money to produce sunflower seeds, but it doesn't cost money to produce dead people. You have to realize that you're under the control of a wicked corporation. It says in the book of Job that the world will be given to the hand of the wicked. You're under the control of a wicked corporation, and they don't let anything go to waste. You think when people die and you go to a funeral, like, have you ever noticed that when you go to a funeral, the body doesn't look like the person? Because it's not even a person. It's like a wax figure that they did make and they put it in a coffin. And I guarantee you, if you go to a cemetery right now and you dig up the grave of one of your friends and one of your relatives, it'll just be an empty plot. They'll put the stone, what do you call it, the headstone on there, but it's there. They probably just recycle those coffins too. So if you spend $10,000 on a funeral, I guarantee you they don't put a dead body in the ground. I mean, maybe if it's a diseased body, they might do something with it. They probably just incinerate those. They don't even bury them. They probably just what do they call it? Incinerate, or what's the word that they use? I can't think of the word right now. You know what I mean, when they burn the body. So I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you a story about me as well. Yeah, but so I don't believe that they even bury dead bodies, to be honest with you. Maybe if you like a Freemason or something, you like somebody important, they might have funerals or those mausoleums. They might have real bodies in there with skeletons. But if you just a regular nobody person, they're going to recycle you. And I'm pretty sure they don't just use them in food. They use it in other things like plastics, different industrial uses. But food is one of the biggest things. Just go look at the back of a label, and you'll see it. You'll see soy. You'll see some type of derivative of soy lecithin, soybean oil, some type of soy. You'll see in it. You just wonder why is it used in everything? This is my theory. Again, this isn't proof, and just because Charlton Heston says it doesn't mean that it's proof. But this is what I really truly believe. My whole life, I struggled with different weight problems. I mean, it was times where, and I believe my mother was poisoning me. My mother knew this too. I was 14 years old and I had hurt my knee playing basketball. And my mother she was like force feeding me milk. And I can guarantee you, and you can even look this up yourself. You look at mostly all animals. We talking about turkeys, chickens, beef, farm raised fish. They feed all of these things soy. You start wondering, why do they feed these soy? Because first of all, it makes the animals grow. It makes them grow big. So when it's time to finish the animals, when they're about to slaughter the animals, they might not feed them soy the whole time, but at certain times during the process, they'll feed them soy, and it makes them grow bigger. So they get paid by the tonnage of the animal. So they get paid by the weight of the animal, right? So when you're drinking milk, if you're drinking milk that comes from a soy-fed cow, in essence, you're drinking soy milk. If you eat cheese that comes from a cow that was fed soy, you're eating soy cheese. So it's like everywhere. Everything has been contaminated by this. Now you can go to certain websites where they sell you, where they really, there's a site called North Star Bison. This is where I shop at. And the chicken and the cheese and stuff is a lot more expensive, but they advertise as soy free. And you might find a certain farm in your city or in your state that might advertise that as well. But mostly all things sold commercially in grocery stores, even the stores are supposedly healthy stores like Whole Foods, most of the stuff is fed soy. You go to those, like you can look for fish. I only eat wild caught fish, but they have a lot of farm raised fish, like farm raised salmon. They make them, they raise them in these ponds in Europe. They call them, they raise them in it's called like a fish pond. And what do they feed the fish? Soy, right? Again, chickens, pigs, everything are fed soy. Where does soy originate from? They say it originates from Asia, China, somewhere, Japan. Well, that's not a surprise. Why? Because China is known for eating a lot of abominable foods. They eat bats and everything. They were trying to blame the COVID-19 on them because they were eating bats. So it's not really a surprise. Excuse me. It's not really a surprise that this is something that they would eat. I'm pretty sure cannibalism has gone on throughout history. It's going on now, and I know we live in a wicked world. So again, you do your own research on this. You don't have to believe me, but you can look it up online that soy causes a lot of people a lot of problems. It produces estrogen. It promotes estrogen in your body. So if you were a man trying to be a woman, you eat a lot of soy because it will help you become a woman. I inadvertently gave up soy about this is 2021, back in like 2018. I just did an experiment where I wanted to give up eating all meats and all dairy. So I would just I guess they would call it vegan, but I didn't eat any processed foods either. So I wasn't just like a vegan who would eat like tofu or anything. I was a vegan who just basically ate like I ate like a lot of nut butters. I made my own bread. I made smoothies, but I didn't use any type of I didn't eat any type of processed foods. And I lost I was like 210, and I had lost like about 25 pounds. Everybody saw me. I was like muscular. I had never looked like this in my life. People were scared when they saw me. It was like, how the hell did you do that? And I was like, I just stopped eating dairy and meat. And I didn't even know about soy back then. I heard stories like you'll hear conflicting stories that, oh, soy is good, and then you'll hear people saying soy is bad. But you don't really, you don't know. It's so much misinformation out here. You don't really know what to believe. So then later on, I started researching. I started eating like processed foods again, and I would notice that I would buy things like. I remember one time I bought some. What is it called? What is it called? Honey mustard. Some honey mustard, some organic honey mustard sauce from Whole Foods, and my face broke out. I was like, why is my face breaking out from some organic thing? So I started looking at it, and it had soybean oil in it. And I was like, oh, okay, so maybe it is something wrong with the soy. So then I ate something else. Like it was like some chicken. It was like some frozen chicken from Whole Foods. And you just put it in the oven and bake it. It's like pre-cooked or something. And you just put it in the oven and bake it. And I noticed my face broke off from that too. I looked at the back of it. It says soybean oil. One time I bought some organic pasta sauce from Target. And I was eating it, and I was like, it tasted disgusting. So I look at the back of it, and if you look at pasta sauce, a lot of pasta sauce doesn't even have oil in it at all. It just has tomato sauce and different spices, but it doesn't have any oil. And some of them will have what is that stuff called? Olive oil in it. But some of them don't have any oil in it at all. So I look at the back of it, it has soybean oil. I'm like, so why the hell are you putting soybean oil in in pasta sauce? And it tasted disgusting. So this again, I'm not telling you to believe this. You can believe what you want to, but you just have to wonder, why are so many people allergic to it? Why do they have to put a food warning on all the foods where it's either if it's processed in the facility with it, or if it's actually used in the production of a food? Why do they have to put a warning on food labels for it? And I told you, Charlton Heston, he's exposing it in this movie, and that was back in the 70s, right? So you be wondering why so many people have weight problems in this country? Why is there an obesity epidemic here? Well, because all of the food, all of the animals are fed soy. You're either eating an animal that was fed soy, or you're eating some type of soy product that was made in processed foods that uses soy directly. It's some crazy stuff. I mean, and again, it really isn't a surprise, because like I said, we're under the control of a corporation, and a wicked corporation at that. And I believe, and I said in previous videos, that I believe this country is under the control of China. So nothing that they do is a surprise to me. That all the crazy things they eat, the things that they bootleg, and when they make buildings and stuff, they buildings collapse because they always use it for the cheapest way of doing things, because it's a corporation. So again, you could take this with a grain of salt. You could do your own research. If you Google Dr. Sebi was doing a lot of warnings about soy too. He isn't the only one. You just Google the dangers of soy. You'll see a lot of different articles pop up, and just look at it for yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and end it there. But just some interesting information. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know this. Anybody who like, I don't know, I'm not really trying to expose anybody, but it's a lot of people who are like transgender in this world. And I'm pretty sure, like, especially the women who are trying to be men, they know about soy and they know to stay away from it because it produces estrogen, or it promotes estrogen. So if you're trying to be a male, if you're trying to transform into a male, you're going to try to avoid anything that has soy in it. So you would already know this. So like I said, I go to a site called North Star Bison. They ship you the stuff. I'm not making any money off this. I'm just letting you know. But they ship you the stuff frozen. Some of the chicken is like 3 times the price of like normal chicken. But it says all soy free. It's like free range. They let the chickens go out and forage in the open field. And that's how chickens are supposed to eat. Right? And it's about, I think a pound was like $22. It's real expensive, but if you don't eat meat every day, it's not really that bad. But it would be, to me, it's worth it for your health. And I know ever since I gave up soy, I've been feeling a lot better. So I know I hear a lot of rumors about it, like it depletes iron, it makes you anemic. It does a lot of damage to your health. So again, you don't have to believe me. You could do your own research on it. But this is just something that I came across, and I remember seeing it on that movie. You might want to just go watch that movie. It was a pretty good movie in general. But I just want to share that information. And again, you might be a cannibal. You might be a cannibal and you don't even know it. So that's not something that I want to do. So I'm trying to make a conscious effort to get my health, exactly where I want it to be. And being a cannibal is not going to help it. So I know that's not that's not part of our culture diet in Deuteronomy and Leviticus. So I'll just kind of leave it at that. This is just, sharing free information. I'm not making any money. My channel is not monetized. I'm not asking for any money, and I'm not getting any money from North Star Bison. But I will tell you that the first time I ate chicken, I really don't like chicken that much. It was the best chicken that I ever tasted in my life. I will testify to that. And they have a lot of good food on that site. So I'll just leave it at that. Shalom.